Hello friends and welcome. My name is Dr. Heather Carden and I am super excited to be here with you on this amazing Wednesday where I have the privilege and opportunity to help answer questions that you have about our amazing Prove It products. So welcome again, Prove It community. As you're joining, let us know where you're joining from, what city, what state, what part of the world. I'm going to share a couple minutes about myself and how I became a part of this incredible community. And then we're going to get right down to business. That is your questions that you have about our incredible Prove It products. So again, my name is Dr. Heather Carden. I'm coming to you live from Kansas City. I am the co-owner of Carden Center for Wellness, where I have practiced for 25 years alongside my husband as a functional medicine practitioner. What that means is, as a functional medicine doctor, we get right down to what the imbalance is in the body. We look to remove the interference of the body and help eliminate the interference to help the body to begin its healing journey. So for over 25 years, we've actually used a low-carb ketogenic diet. You can imagine how excited we were when we heard that Prove It made the first pure therapeutic exogenous ketone. I studied Dr. Karen's Clark work for many, many years. I know how hard she had actually tried to actually make a ketone. She actually called it brain fuel back then over in London because it was hard to make it palatable, which means taste good, hard to make it digestible, which means actually easy on the gut and actually put you in ketosis. Well, Prove It did what nobody else could do. So if you've ever tried the ketogenic diet, drop a number 1 down, because the ketogenic diet has amazing, amazing benefits. We've known that because we've studied it for well over 100 years. We also know, and I've known from coaching hundreds of people, how hard it can be to actually get into ketosis, especially if you have some health challenges, and to maintain that level of ketosis to keep your body in that incredible state where your body's actually burning fat for fuel. So again, ketones are so incredible for your body. So we have 2 fuel sources, because I want to define what that is in case you're brand new to this conversation. So our body runs on fuel. It either runs on glucose or runs on ketones. If you're running on sugar or glucose, it means your body depends on mostly carbohydrates, grains, fruits, and breaks those down into glucose, or blood sugar we call that. And we have to use insulin to actually get the blood glucose out of the blood cell and into the target organ so your body can use it for energy. Now, if you're on a ketogenic diet, you're consuming very low carbohydrates, maybe 6, 5, 8%, moderate amounts of protein, and higher amounts of fats, anywhere from 65 to 80% fats. So for some people that can be very hard, or mentally you say, well, I was never taught that. I was taught to eat 8 to 11 servings of carbohydrates. I was taught to not have any fats. But again, we've studied the ketogenic diet for well over 100 years. When we compare ketones to glucose, remember the only 2 fuel sources our body can use, ketones provide more oxygen per molecule, more ATP per molecule. We know they're more efficient. They actually help better brain function, better cognition, better recall, better digestion. They actually calm down the nervous system. They actually elevate our moods. They actually turn on some great neurotransmitters. They help communication within our brain, within our cells. They help communicate our brain to the ultimate end organs. Again, better energy, better sleep, so much better for our body overall. So let's get right down to your questions. So I just saw Lori popped up a question. She said, is it harder for people who are over 60 to get in ketosis? It can be for some people who are actually elderly, because as we age, our cells get a little bit slower. Sometimes our activity level starts to decline. And so that can actually also make it harder for our body to go grab the cells and immobilize the fat, especially if you have some health challenges. There's studies out there showing once you're on multiple pharmaceuticals, that can also make it harder for your body to get in ketosis. If you have a subacute bacterial or viral infection, if you have diabetes, that can also make it harder for your body to actually get into ketosis. If you have NASH or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or any other type of liver disease, because your liver ultimately, once you deplete your carbohydrates, your body actually goes out and grabs the fat, specifically your liver, and uncouple it and makes ketones. So yes, as we age, and if you have some type of liver condition or your cells have been through some type of traumatic health injury or health journey, then yes, it can make it harder. However, when you drink pure therapeutic exogenous ketones, it's not age dependent, it's not lifestyle dependent, it's not gender dependent. So whether you're a male or a female, whether you are 26 or 66, drink 1 single serving, mix it with 12 to 16 ounces of water, 99% of the time, it will put your body in ketosis in less than 59 minutes. So it does not matter what your age is or your gender, it will put you in ketosis in less than 59 minutes. What an amazing blessing that is for your body. Now, when we talk about age or gender, now it can depend how long you'll stay in ketosis after consuming one serving of ketones. We do know that exercise facilitates your body staying in that low ketosis because it helps get those ketones into that target end organ to help keep your body moving. So I see Nancy answering a question about checking with your healthcare provider. So Jamie Lynn says, can you take it while you're pregnant? So if you have a significant health condition or you have a health concern right now, like you're pregnant, which is not a long-term condition, there are not any studies right now. Prove It hasn't funded any studies with pregnant women and exogenous ketones. So please just check with your healthcare provider first before taking any new supplementation or any product. So we know that there are many inspiring stories. We've heard Dr. Andy share that she actually took exogenous ketones during her pregnancy. She did discuss it with her healthcare practitioner to make that decision, but I cannot give you permission, nor can any other healthcare physician, nor can a promoter. Just please check with your healthcare provider first before making that decision. If you have a healthcare concern, if you have been diagnosed with a significant disease or healthcare concern, just check with your healthcare provider first. So Katie Lynn says, I've heard that some say it can upset your stomach, and why? This is a great question, Katie. I'm glad that you asked this. So our native fuel source, or as we come into this world as newborn babies, we're actually in a state of ketosis. As we develop and as we grow old, somehow we learn to drive through, we learn to eat processed food, and the pH of our stomach, the whole terrain of our stomach, actually evolves so we can digest those processed foods. Our whole gut gets off. Sometimes we get invaded by foreign invaders. The pH of our stomach starts to change. The alkalinity or the acid-base balance starts to change. We become more tolerant of food allergy or food dyes and additives. So when we go back to introducing the native fuel source into our body, sometimes our body goes, wait, what's that? I haven't digested or used ketones in a very long time, since I was maybe 2 or 3 months old, because as long as the baby's breastfed, it's actually in ketosis. Once we introduce carbs like baby cereals and carrots and peas, squash, then the baby is no longer in ketosis. So we go back to that native fuel source being in ketosis, or adults that are maybe endurance runners, they actually switch back and forth into that dual fuel, burning glucose to burning ketones. So if you know that you have a more sensitive gut, you have SIBO, you have maybe some hidden food allergies or food sensitivities, irritable bowel, you know that you already have some gut issues, when you're reintroducing your native fuel source, there can be a transition time where your gut may be a little more sensitive. You may have a little more nausea, maybe a little more diarrhea or constipation. That is all to be expected if you have a history of having some type of gut issue or your gut terrain is a little bit out of balance. If that is you saying, yep, that's me, I have kind of a finicky stomach, then just introduce the ketones slowly. So don't chug them down, mix them as it says with 12 to 16 ounces of water. Don't start with 2 a day, start with 1 a day, or do a half a serving mid-morning and a half a serving mid-afternoon. And again, drink them within 20 or 30 minutes. Don't just chug them down. Go slowly and let your body to adapt. It might be even safe to have them with 1 or 2 ounces of fat or protein just to slow down the absorption. So great question there. I also had a question come in earlier because we do post this. We do this live every single Wednesday, and our amazing social media team posts this on social media so people can turn their questions in a day early in case maybe you're working or the time shift. So we had someone say, how many times a week can I do the 24-hour fast? So generally we recommend doing it once a week, but you can safely do it a couple times a week. I know Dr. Jason Fung has some great research that he's saying people can do a 24 fast every other day. We just want you to check with your healthcare practitioner because sometimes that can actually cause you not to get all your macronutrients in. You don't get enough protein in, enough greens, or enough healthy fats. You could safely do that 2 to 3 times a week. The other question that followed that up, it said, I started my 10-day challenge. Should I start my Reboot reboot after? The answer is absolutely yes. So we love having people start their 10-day challenge and then roll into a reboot. What that does is it actually introduces ketones into your system. You automatically start lowering your carbohydrate intake because ketones help lower cravings. They help create satiety, which is feeling fuller longer. You already start to get that habit of intermittent fasting. So as you roll into the reboot, which is our 60-hour metabolic reset, your body's already transitioning into that somewhat metabolic supplemented fast. So that is a great question. The answer would be yes. And again, as you're joining, let us know where you're joining from. I'm joining you live from Kansas City, right in the middle of USA. This is absolutely meant to be shared, so don't forget to hit that share button. So Ignatia's asking, Ignatia Nacho Borges, I hope I didn't butcher or didn't mess up your name too much there. It says, can ketones help with Epstein Barr? So ketones are not an antibiotic. They're not an antifungal. They're not for parasites or for flukes, but we do know that ketones do help give you more energy. There are a lot of studies showing that when you're moving more, you're feeling better, you're sleeping better, because ketones do help you sleep better, that it does help boost your immune system. So when you look at the effect or the domino effect that ketones have, we know that when you're sleeping better, you regulate your cortisol level better, that when your digestion is better, that when your moods are better, when you have better energy, get your lymphatic system moving better, that it does help your body actually fight microorganisms better. It does boost your immune system better. We know that our new female, fueled by female ketone actually has extra D, extra C, extra other vitamins and nutrients in there, extra licorice root, bilberry, other things that do help your adrenal glands, help fight, help keep your adrenal glands nice and strong, to help actually lose some unwanted fat. We know things like sugar do feed Epstein Barr. Stress actually does induce Epstein Barr. So we know that things like licorice root do help calm down your adrenal glands. Ketones themselves do help calm down your nervous system, which can help keep things like Epstein Barr at an abate. But we do know that ketones they're not antibacterial and they're not antiviral. So Carly Rose is asking, how long does ketones last in your body? So this depends so much on your metabolism, so much on your state of health, so much on your movement activity. So you can expect after one serving of ketones to stay in that amazing state of ketosis anywhere from 2 to 4 to 6 plus hours. And as you continue to introduce ketones into your body and as your body adapts, maybe the first few weeks you stay in ketosis 2 to 3.5 plus hours, maybe the second month it's 3 to 5 hours. It all depends on your body. If you drink ketones and then go to the gym and continue to facilitate that fat loss and burn through more glucose and glycogen, you could continue to stay in ketosis. If you drink them before you go to bed, you wake up in the morning, you could still be in ketosis. So it all depends on your body's metabolic, how active you are, how much overall body fat you have, how your body metabolizes things. We're all unique individual beings, but what I can tell you after drinking ketones for 6.5 plus years and seeing other people that I love and other patients of mine drinking these for 5 plus, 6 plus years, the longer that you drink them, the more it elevates your therapeutic level of ketosis. The longer and stronger your therapeutic level of ketosis becomes, your body gets more and more adapted and it sticks to that level of ketosis and your body likes it much better. So you maintain that level much longer. Had another question come in. It says, do protones mixed with water break your fast? So if you're not familiar, Keto Pro is our amazing ketones, beta hydroxybutyrate, that's mixed with protein. Again, they're ketone friendly proteins plus MCT. So when mixed with water, not a nut milk, not with juice or with the sparkling water, but when mixed with water, again, not anything else, this should not break your fast because there's a very low grade of protein. It's about 7 grams of protein, and it does come 3 different ways. It comes with an egg white, it comes with a pumpkin-based protein, and it comes with, so vegan-based, and then it does come with a dairy-based or milk-based protein. So, and then it has MCT. The MCT will turn very quickly into additional ketones. So you have the original ketone, beta hydroxybutyrate, plus the addition of MCTs, which your liver will turn quickly into additional ketones. So this should not break your extended fast, but as always, just check your ketone level, but you should still maintain in ketosis as long as you mix it with water. If you mix it with the nut milk, it will probably take you out of ketosis. So great question there. So Alex says, what do you do if people have a concern with sodium? So the great thing is we have ketones called free cell ketones. So what that means is we have the regular Keto NAT, they are bound to sodium and to a little bit of calcium. So they're bound to a little bit of a salt or sodium. So we have the ketone beta hydroxybutyrate bound to the sodium or the salt, if you want to call it that. Our free cell is actually the ketone bound to a ketone. You will find that in our Mexican ketone. You'll find that in our Keto Up. So you'll see that there's no sodium on the label. So if you're concerned about the sodium level, please select the Mexican ketones or the Keto Up. Those will be for anyone who's concerned about the sodium level. However, I just want to help understand the sodium level a little bit better. We know ketones are a natural diuretic. So the sodium level content that is actually on our Keto NAT is simply to replace what is lost when drinking 1 serving of Keto NAT. So being a diuretic, you're going to actually lose some sodium while you're drinking this, along with the ketone, because it is a natural diuretic. So the sodium is to replace what is lost with 1 single serving. So when you're drinking the Mexican ketones or you're drinking the Keto Up, you do need to make sure you're replacing those electrolytes or sodium that's lost. So make sure you're having a mitoplex or an electrolyte, or even adding some extra pink Himalayan sea salt to your foods when you're drinking the other ones that are a free cell. But again, if you're concerned or have a low sodium diet as advised by your physician, the Keto Up is for you and the Mexican ketones are for you. So do the ketones lose the effect on the body? So the effect on your body, and you take them long term. So the answer is, Debbie, no, they do not lose the effect on their body. Your body just becomes adapted to them. So that's a great question. We hear people say all the time, does your body get used to them? The answer is yes, your body does get adapted to them. So say you start taking ketones, and the first time you take ketones, maybe you do get nausea, you get a little bit of diarrhea, you get a little bit of constipation, maybe you experience those signs of dehydration, but now 6 months later, you can do 2 servings a day and you don't have any of those. I do compare it to training for like a 5K. You wouldn't go out and just run a 5K. You'd be sore. You probably couldn't run the whole thing, especially if you're not in shape. But as you start to train for that, the first couple of days you could run a few blocks, then you could run a half a mile, then you could run a full mile in a couple weeks. The same thing's true as your body adapts to the ketones. So we've heard our CEO say that all the time. If you don't feel the ketones, just wait till you run out or stop using them. Then you'll notice that those cravings come back. You'll notice the brain fog comes back, because they are fuel for your body. They are water soluble. So your body uses what it needs and eliminates out what it doesn't need. So if you're not consistently using them every day, your body's not going to get the energy or the benefits from the ketones. So long term, yes, you can use them every single day safely, because they are water soluble, which means your body doesn't store them. Your body stores things that are fat soluble, like vitamin A, E, D, and K. They don't store things that are water soluble. Your body uses what it needs and eliminates what it doesn't need. That's why it doesn't stay in your system. I bet people say, well, I drank my ketones yesterday and I'm not in ketosis today. I'm like, well, no, because your body used them as you drank them. Your cells gobbled them all up and used them for energy, and now there's no more left, because that's why you need to refuel and use them again the next day, or why we recommend 2 servings a day, because they do just serve your body anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. So we do recommend 2 servings a day. You guys have great questions here. There's a question that came in yesterday that said, same question, should I cycle on and off the ketones? The answer is no. If you want to feel better, you want better memory, you want craving control, you want to feel better after your workouts, you want to continue to have PRs at your workout, you want to have better sleep, a better digestion, then yes, you do not want to cycle off the ketones. Yes, you want to continue to drink them every day. There's no reason to cycle off of them. The other question was, what is my favorite flavor? It's hard to pick, and sometimes it is seasonal, but right now I'm in a heart tart mode. I don't know what it is. I have strawberry peach today, but I'm in a heart tart mode. Can I eat carbohydrates and sugar and still lose weight with ketones? So I just want to clarify, Prove It is not a weight loss company. There should be a lot of thumbs up on this one, so give me the thumbs up. We are not a weight loss company. Ketones are an energy source. So what happens, we talk about ketones being our original energy. When we're coming to this world as newborn babies, they're our native fuel source. So when you think of that newborn baby, it only eats when it's hungry, when it's breastfed, and stops when it's full. It wakes up when it's done sleeping, and it sleeps when it's tired. You cannot put a newborn baby to sleep if it's not tired, and you cannot pre-feed or make a baby eat that's not hungry if it's breastfed. It goes to sleep when it's tired and wakes up when it's done, and wakes up happy and sunshiny as long as his diaper's not wet. So think about those benefits if you could have it as an adult. Only eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, sleep when you're tired, wake up when you're done, and wake up smiling and happy all the time. That's that level of ketosis. If you meet people or ever been to a Pruitt event, everybody's happy. We're all jumping and screaming and hugging each other and giving high fives. We're all happy because ketones increase your natural endorphins, they increase GABA, which is your feel-good hormones, and it depresses your dopamine, which is your anxiety, your impulsivity hormones. So people generally feel great. So what the question is, it's not a weight loss product. What happens is when your body's at homeostasis, when you're at that level plateau, when you're in ketosis, your craving hormones are turned off, those impulsivities or anxiety hormones are actually dampened or quiet, and those feel-good hormones, those joyful happiness hormones, GABA, are turned up. You feel good. You just eat when you're hungry. That's how people end up losing fat, not weight, because proteins do increase muscle synthesis. So they increase protein synthesis, muscle synthesis. That's what's great about our bone broth, our better broth. That's what's great about our ketones and having those ketone-friendly proteins in there. Our Keto Pro having those ketone-friendly proteins in there, as well as our Mitoplex, which have upgraded electrolytes, is that you do increase lean muscle mass, do increase protein synthesis. You ultimately end up losing fat. But as Michael Rutherford says, if you don't know Michael Rutherford, you can out-eat a ketone, which means that we aren't going to promote that you continue to eat processed food, junk food. That's what our better meals are all about, is teaching you proper portion serving sizes, proper how you feel when you're eating organically, how you feel when you're eating farm to table, when you're eating protein that is antibiotic free, hormone free, proper serving size of nuts. I know people pull the nuts out of the sacks. I'm out of my better meals. They come tomorrow. So when you see the little bag of nuts, and like, that's a serving size of fat. Yes, that's 31 grams of fat. That's almonds. That's a proper serving size, not the whole can, but the little bag. So this teaches you a proper serving size. So people ultimately lose weight, or they lose fat, not weight, because we don't lose muscle, because ketones protect lean muscle mass by turning on or turning off an enzyme called myosynthase. So it protects your lean muscle mass. That's why people increase lean muscle mass and don't lose it while they're drinking ketones. So the answer is yes, you can actually gain weight while drinking ketones. You can increase lean muscle mass. As you exercise more, because you have more energy, you can actually increase your bone density, which can make the scale go up. So it's not all about the number on the scale. So yes, you can lose fat, you can increase muscle mass, you can increase bone density, you could ultimately increase the scale, the number on the scale, but you can still shrink your overall body size. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's get some more questions here. I love seeing those shares everywhere. I love seeing you tag your family and friends on there. So Christina, these questions. So how quickly can one packet make you lose weight? So I have no golden picture. Again, we're not a weight loss company. So what ketones do is when they increase GABA, that neurotransmitter, it does inhibit cravings. I hear stories all the time. People are like, well, usually I would go get gas and I grab a candy bar. I usually check out the grocery store and I would grab this. I forgot to grab the candy bar. I forgot to get that. Or we went out for Mexican food and I forgot to, eat 3 baskets of chips, because you drink ketones before you go out to eat. You're drinking ketones on the way home before you get your gas, and you feel so amazing, you forget to go for those foods you used to grab on the go. So there's no golden rule. There's no number that you can say you're going to lose this amount of weight on the scale, because ultimately, like we talked about just a second ago, the scale can actually go up because you're increasing lean muscle mass or bone mass. Anna Marie got her food today. Rock on, yay, yay. And yes, the B12 is methylcobalamin. I saw 3 people ask that question. Yes, Sammy's asking, can I get can I get the broth other than salted caramel? Yes, we have many different flavors of the broth. I can also let you know that I got a little memo here that says from corporate that we are releasing on Thursday. Stay in touch. There may be another flavor being released on Thursday. Not of the broth, but there may be another flavor of ketones being released on Thursday of the NAT. So stay tuned. But the better broth does come in a French onion. It comes in a thyme. Those are the two I absolutely love. So they do come in other flavors. Yeah, Patricia, it's absolutely possible to be in ketosis. We've studied the ketogenic diet for over 100 years. It is absolutely possible to be in ketosis without using exogenous ketones. However, what I've experienced and what thousands of other millions of people have experienced, it's hard to maintain that level of ketosis to be in a therapeutic level where you get the maximum benefits. And what science and research is showing, when you add pure therapeutic ketones, and prove it does have the only ketone in the world that is bioidentical to what your body makes, and when you add pure therapeutic ketones to your own body that's already in a state of ketosis, you raise it to a therapeutic level where you're getting the maximum benefits. It's like giving your body a fuel injector. Your cells don't have to work as hard. It actually makes that easier to immobilize the fat, to raise your own body's level of ketones, plus you're getting all the other nutrients. When you're immobilizing your own fat via the liver to make ketones, you're not getting the added nutrients to it. You're going to have to take some other type of supplementation. When you're taking exogenous ketones, you're getting the added sodium, you're getting the added B vitamins, you're getting the added protein to help protect and recover your cells as you're actually immobilizing your own fat. So again, it's like a fuel injector or bonus to your cells. So you take your level of ketosis and you're raising it to a higher therapeutic level. Studies show the higher the level, the better. Now that wasn't once said 20 years ago, but the leading research over the last several years is saying, yes, it is better to be not at 0.8. It is more beneficial to have your body at that 1.8, 2.2, 3.0. It's a better therapeutic level for your brain and the rest of your body. Lots of people watching all over the world. I love hearing about that. So Lorraine's asking about the Mexican ketones. So the difference is that when we went to launch a product, and we'll finish up our question here, we got just a couple minutes left. When we went to launch our product, because we had a lot of people saying, I need to get this to my family and friends in Mexico, how do we get it there? This is sweetened with a very high form of stevia and erythritol. So we went to go to Mexico and they said we have to use a different sweetener. So the sweetener we found is allulose. Allulose is a natural plant. It's from a fig plant, is 1/10 the sweetener of natural cane sugar. It also does not raise your blood sugar. That's why it's a natural sugar we can use, but it doesn't mix very well with the salt. It was getting pretty clumpy, so we had to do it in a liquid form. So in order for us to actually get the ketone to taste good, or taste amazing, I should say, and to get it palatable, digestible, still put you in ketosis, we had to use the natural sweetener allulose. So the Mexican ketones are in a little ampule that you do need to reconstitute. I've had some people just shoot it straight. You do need to mix it with 12 to 16 ounces of water. The sweetener is allulose, or the main sweetener is allulose, a little bit of stevia, a little bit of erythritol, where the Keto NAT in the US formula, which is also in Canada and Australia, this actually does not have any allulose. It has the stevia and erythritol in it. So that is the main difference. And we had so many people loving the way it tastes. There is a higher uptake in it because it is a free cell technology. So some people say they get a quicker uptake from the ketone. They maybe experience it longer, and they are a little more tart than the US flavors. So we had a lot of people here like myself wanting to experience the different flavors. So that's why we often launch the flavors here in the US. So when they're up for sale, grab them. We just had a big sale a couple weeks ago where there was buy several boxes, get a couple boxes free. So hopefully you all got to take advantage of that. So Debbie's asking, fueled by female, AM or PM? It depends on how you do with caffeine. Some people are not affected by caffeine. Caffeine does stay in your system. It's a half-life of 6 hours. So if you're caffeine sensitive, you fight adrenal fatigue, then just kind of time the caffeine for your body. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. But I generally tell people you're trying to calm down your nervous system, have your last meal 3 to 4 hours before your ideal bedtime. And then again, the same thing with caffeine. You want to have caffeine 5 to 6 hours before your ideal bedtime. So just want to make sure that we've gotten as many questions offered as possible. So Mark, Alan, how do ketones compare with the other exogenous ketones on the market? So what I can tell you, the biggest difference coming to me as a healthcare practitioner and as a consumer, as a mom, as a wife, and as a daughter, that I do share these with my family, it is the only one in the world that the ketone is bioidentical to what my body makes. So when I'm in a natural state of ketosis where I deplete my glucose and glycogen, I'm actually increasing my fat consumption, again, depleting my carbohydrates, just consuming above ground greens, some nuts and seeds, moderate amounts of fat. I do that till my glucose and glycogen is low enough. Then my liver goes after my fat and starts to break down my fat into 3 different ketones, one being beta hydroxybutyrate. This is exactly what my liver goes and breaks down. It is the R form of beta hydroxybutyrate is in here. Nobody else makes one. The other ones are racemic mixtures. I'm not going to talk about the other ones on the market, but I can sit here and say in front of you and all my friends and family, this is why it can put your body in ketosis in less than an hour. This is why your body takes it up and you get the amazing experience. You can test your urine, blood, or breath and say, yes, 99.9% of the time, it does put your body in ketosis when you do it properly. So the last question is, and properly means mixing it in 12 to 16 ounces, drinking it within 20 minutes, not mixing it in a gallon of water and drinking over 4 hours, and then not testing your blood a day later, but mixing it and drinking it within about 20 to 25 minutes and testing within an hour or two. Last question of the day, but thank you guys all for joining me. Don't forget to hit that share button. And if you're brand new to the Prove It community here, you just come upon this page, you just are finding out about our amazing products, drop a number 1 down below. We want to give you a nice big warm welcome to our Prove It community. The last question we received on, what is the best time to drink ketones? So they're an energy source. My rule of thumb is 30 to 40 minutes before you want to be the best version of yourself, because it takes that long to get into your bloodstream and to peak in your bloodstream. So if you know you're not a good person starting the day, you have a hard time starting, you hit that timer, you hit the buzzer, you have a hard time starting, your hair's a mess, the pillows are over the floor, you probably need ketones in the morning. So a little bit of water first, 12 to 16 ounces of water first, NAT next. Maybe you're a great start in the morning, you're up with the chicken and the dogs, you're ready to go, but boy, after lunch you start the yawns and you want to take a nap or have something sweet, you need ketones between 1 and 3. Maybe you do great all day, but on your drive home from work, or maybe you work from home and when your hubby, your kids start to come home from work, you want to take a nap at 5 and you wish you had energy to go to the gym, you wish you had some energy to finish a house project, you need to have ketones about that time. Maybe you have a hard time winding down at night. You wish you're a night owl. You wish you could go to bed at 10 or 11, but you're up till 12 or 1. You need to have ketones at night. And I would say a Keto OS Pro, or maybe with some Mitoplex or an uncharged ketone. And the uncharged ketones come in a white package because this will calm down your nervous system. Drink this again 30 or 40 minutes before your ideal bedtime. If you're an athlete, you want to drink them again 30 or 40 minutes before your workout. If you work out 2 hours a day, you're an endurance athlete, or you're doing 2-a-day workouts, then you want to drink one at 30 to 40 minutes before your workout, and then a second serving 2 hours post-workout, so you continue to get oxygen and good tissue protection to your muscles, protect your lean muscle mass, and then continue to have that amazing energy after your workout. So hopefully that helps answer your question. You guys have an amazing day. Again, my name is Dr. Heather Carden, one of your Prove It education specialists, coming to you live from Kansas City. You guys have an amazing day, and don't forget to watch for the new flavor drop on Thursday, and hope to see you all at more on March 4th, 5th, and 6th. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.